Thursday, June 20th, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Hannah Evans.
And a second alert day in a row.
Yes, so we have one today due to the Canadian wildfire smoke that came back in.
Yeah, it came back in pretty hard last night.
Yes, so last night our air quality index went up, and then this morning it's still up. It's going to get a little bit worse this afternoon, and then it starts to push out tomorrow.
Yeah, be careful out there.
Yes, so let's take a look at our alert day. For air quality today caused up by the Canadian wildfire smoke, I would definitely avoid any outdoor physical activity and keep the windows closed. At this point, our air quality index is at 181, so that does fall into the unhealthy category where we should be limiting outdoor activities for everyone. It's not going to be as bad today as it was when we saw it a couple weeks ago with the air quality index in the 300s and 400s, but it's still unhealthy today to be outside for longer periods. Otherwise, we are drying out today. Right now, we're in mostly the 60s. We have 60 degrees in Westmoreland and Whitesboro and 61 degrees in Little Falls. So it should be sunny today, but it's going to look like faded sunshine because it is going to be hazy due to that wildfire smoke. It does start to move out tomorrow, but it's possible it's still going to be a little bit hazy tomorrow. It will move out for Saturday and Sunday, but it does get unsettled again with pop-up thunderstorms possible. So for the rest of today, expect hazy conditions. We'll reach the upper 70s with low humidity. I will talk a little bit more about the air quality today coming up, Gary.
Hannah, thanks. We are certainly not the only ones feeling the effects of the wildfire smoke. More than 120 million people across the country are breathing in the bad air. Reporter Emily Schmidt has a look at the view and impact across the country.
Wow, this is pretty insane, guys.
Christy Litster narrating her view in Ontario.
This is not fog. This is smoke.
Speaks for what millions are sensing when they step outside.
And you can smell it too. Like it smells like smoke.
She said the fires aren't even close to her, but the 230-plus fires Canadian officials say are burning out of control, part of the worst wildfire season on record there, with the highest wildfire emissions recorded. The resulting smoke is seen in shades of gray, clouding Iowa cityscapes, hovering over Wisconsin fields, and an Illinois farmer worries, delaying her tomato crop a bit.
If you're out in this, please stay safe. Not good for our lungs.
The Minnesota Pollution Control Agency says it's had 10 air quality alert events this year over a period of 26 days. Robbie Goodman says about once a week he's sent his lawn maintenance company workers home to stay safe.
All of my guys are retired guys, and they show up to work, but I want to take care of them and make sure they're healthy too.
The smoke's path looks like a winding summer road trip. Michigan, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, next New York, which just a few weeks ago watched a skyline turn orange in a matter of hours. Now there's an air quality health advisory for the entire state. Officials fear it could get worse. I'm Emily Schmidt reporting.
We are getting our first look at the shattered.
Welcome back. The National Weather Service does have an air quality alert issued for all of central New York, and this is going to expire tonight at midnight. We are seeing poor air quality again today. It's not going to be as bad as it was a couple weeks ago, but it's still enough to cause some issues if you are doing any physical activity outside or if you are sensitive to this. So it looks like the heavy smoke coming in for this morning and early afternoon. It does look to start to clear out for tonight and tomorrow, but may still be a little bit hazy tomorrow, and then it fully clears out for the weekend, and then we aren't expecting it to come back again anytime soon after it clears out. The weekend, though, is going to be unsettled again. Will be humid, highs near 80 with pop-up thunderstorms. Gary.
Hannah, thanks. In Rome's mayoral.
Good morning, everybody. We have decided to issue a Storm Tracker 2 alert date today due to wildfire smoke coming in from Canada. So let's take a look now at downtown Utica. As you can see here this morning, it is a little bit foggy, but it's also mixing in with haze at this point. So we do have our alert day in effect today due to the poor air quality. Our air quality index at this point is just around 180. It's not going to be as bad as it was a couple weeks ago, but still is going to be in the unhealthy level. So definitely avoid any outdoor activity and keep those windows closed for today because the air quality is expected to be in the unhealthy level, which tells us to kind of avoid that time outside. So it looks like our near surface smoke is coming in. Once again, not as bad as a couple weeks ago. That color was like a darker orange and purple. We are just looking at some lighter green and yellow colors, but that's still enough to affect us outside. It does look to start to move out tomorrow, but it's probably still going to be a little bit hazy tomorrow, and it moves out for the weekend. Our temperatures this morning are mostly just around 60 degrees. We have 61 in Dalgeville, Little Falls, 59 degrees in Deansboro, and if we take a look to the south, we have 61 degrees in Cooperstown. We'll reach the mid-70s today, and will remain dry. This is our Yorkville Battery. Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. The clouds from the cold front yesterday have since moved through this morning. We are dry, and we should be sunny today, but it's going to look like faded sunshine due to that wildfire smoke. We're also going to be seeing low humidity today, but it starts to get a little bit muggy tomorrow, and then we will be humid again as unsettled weather returns for the weekend with pop-up thunderstorms both Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be warm and humid with highs at near 80, but once again, dry periods in between these thunderstorms, along with a few peaks of sunshine. So today, our main concern is going to be the air quality. Be careful spending longer periods outside, or if you are sensitive to poor air quality, definitely stay indoors today. We are going to be seeing sunshine, but it's going to be faded, and when we will be dry. We're supposed to reach the upper 70s, but with this haze and the smoke, we're thinking we'll just reach the mid-70s today. Tonight will fall into the 50s, still probably a little bit hazy tonight with clear skies. And then tomorrow, probably some haze lingering around tomorrow as it does start to clear out. We'll be seeing highs in the 80s, and then we will be seeing unsettled weather return the weekend. So for today, faded sunshine, hazy, a little bit breezy. We'll be in the mid-70s, and then we'll fall into the upper 50s tonight. The haze kind of lingers around a little bit tomorrow, but it starts to get better tomorrow. We'll be warmer and a little bit more humid. It gets humid and unsettled again for the weekend, Gary.
Gorgeous day today, except for some smoke.
Yeah, so it should be nice today, but that smoke's coming in, so it probably will look like cloudy.
Yeah, just be careful out there with that air quality.
Yes.
Hannah, thanks. The time right now is 5:24, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Hannah Evans.
And boy, did that smoke come in last night.
Yes, so it came in last night. It'll be here today. Not as bad as a couple weeks ago, but still just to be careful.
Yeah, I was surprised at how thick it was last night.
Yes, so let's take a look now at our alert day here this morning. Poor air quality today caused by the Canadian wildfire smoke, so I would avoid any outdoor physical activity outside today and definitely keep those windows closed. If you are sensitive to this, be careful for today because it is going to be unhealthy. Our air quality at this point is already at 180. It's looking to rise a little bit more today, but it's definitely not going to be as bad as it was a couple weeks ago. It's just going to be unhealthy to do any physical activity outside for longer periods of time. We do dry out today. It should be sunny, but it's probably going to look a little bit cloudy or hazy due to that wildfire smoke. We're waking up just around 60 degrees this morning. We do have 60 degrees in Westmoreland, Whitesboro, and in Cooperstown. We will be seeing dry weather, hazy conditions today due to the wildfire smoke. It moves out for the weekend. It's probably going to be still a little bit hazy tomorrow, but then the weekend it moves out with unsettled weather coming back in. So for today, expect hazy conditions. We'll reach the mid-70s and be a little bit breezy. I will talk more about the air quality today coming up, Gary.
Hannah, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. This week, President Biden is traveling.
The Cooperstown Camp is brought to you by Utica National Insurance Group.
Welcome back. This morning, we are waking up to 61 degrees at the Rivers Park Airport in Rome. We are seeing foggy and hazy skies. It's kind of a mix this morning, but watch out for patchy fog if you are driving anywhere that's of higher elevation. It is hard to see at some points, but then we did see some wildfire smoke come in last night, and it is hazy this morning. It will remain hazy today because of this with poor air quality, so we do have an alert day in effect for today. The air quality index at this point is just around 180, which is going to be unhealthy to spend any outdoor physical activity doing that outside. So just be careful of that today. If you are sensitive to poor air quality, be careful as well and definitely keep the windows closed. It does start to move out tomorrow, but it's probably still going to be a little bit hazy tomorrow. And then we see unsettled weather return for the weekend with pop-up thunderstorms. Gary.
Hannah, thanks. As the summer travel season
Good morning, everybody. We are starting out foggy and hazy this morning, and we do have alert day today due to Canadian wildfire smoke. Let's take a look now at downtown Utica. As we can see, it looks cloudy, but it's really just a mixture of fog and haze. Just be careful when driving this morning, especially in valleys or into the higher elevations, because it is foggy there to start. But then we have our alert day today due to poor air quality caused by the Canadian wildfire smoke that blew back in. I would definitely avoid outdoor activity, physical activity outside today. Keep the windows closed, and if you are sensitive to this, stay inside for today, because at this point, the air quality index is just around 180. That already does fall into the unhealthy level for anyone to be outside doing physical activity or for longer periods of time. It's not going to be as bad today as it was a couple weeks ago, where it was very unhealthy, but we do have an alert day just to kind of keep you updated today that poor air quality is coming in. Now we see our near surface smoke. We are seeing this darker blue and like a greenish color for today, and it looks to start to move out for tomorrow, but it's still probably going to be a little bit hazy tomorrow as it lingers around. If you remember a couple weeks ago when we showed this map, it was like a dark orange and a purple color that was really, really heavy smoke. It's not going to be like that, but it's going to be noticeable throughout today. Our temperatures this morning are just around 60 degrees. We have 61 degrees in Dalesville, Little Falls, 59 degrees in Deansboro and in Inlet. And looking to the south, we have 59 degrees in Hamilton and Skenevis. We are going to reach the 70s today. We're looking more like the mid-70s because that haze is kind of going to keep us just a little bit cooler than what we would be normally without it. We are dry on our Yorkville battery, Storm Tracker 2, Doppler radar, and it should be sunny today, but it's going to look like faded sunshine, maybe even cloudy because of the haze that is coming in. We're going to be seeing low humidity as well today. That starts to rise a little bit more tomorrow ahead of unsettled weather and humidity returning back in for the weekend on Saturday and Sunday. At this point, the wildfire smoke looks to have moved out, but then we see that unsettled weather come back in with pop-up thunderstorms possible for both days, highs near 80 and humid. So on our skycast today, should be sunny, but it's going to look faded because it is going to be hazy. We're thinking we're just going to reach the mid-70s because of this haze. And then tonight, we clear out from any haze. We'll see lows in the 50s, but it might just be a little bit hazy still tomorrow, not as heavy today. We're going to be seeing highs in the 80s tomorrow, an increase in cloud cover later, and then unsettled weather coming in for the weekend. So for today, expect fog this morning. We will continue to see hazy conditions. We'll reach the mid-70s, and then we'll fall into the upper 50s tonight. So we do have an alert day today due to the poor air quality. It starts to clear out tomorrow, but still may be a little bit hazy, and unsettled weather comes in for the weekend, Gary.
Yeah, it was pretty bad last night.
Yeah, so it came in last night. It's not going to be as bad as it was a couple weeks ago, though, which is good.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Hannah, thanks. Well, NASA is pulling back the curtain on high morning, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Libertor.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Hannah Evans.
And if you didn't notice last night, that smoke has moved in again.
Yes, we're seeing smoke again today. It's not going to be as bad as it was a couple weeks ago, but it's unhealthy enough to avoid physical activity outside.
Yeah, it's kind of eerie.
Yes, I don't like it. So let's take a look now at our alert day today. We issued an alert day due to poor air quality caused by the Canadian wildfire smoke has moved back in. If you are sensitive to this, I would stay inside today. Anyone else, avoid any outdoor physical activity and definitely keep those windows closed, because at this point, our air quality index is just around 180. That is in the unhealthy category for doing any physical activity outside. It will remain in the unhealthy category today. It is not going to reach that very unhealthy like we did a couple weeks ago. So right now, we're mostly just around 60 degrees in Westmoreland and Whitesboro, and 59 degrees in Cooperstown and Earlville. We'll reach the mid-70s today, and it should be sunny, but it's going to look a little bit hazy from that wildfire smoke. It may continue to be a little bit hazy tomorrow before it clears out for the weekend, but when it clears out, unsettled weather returns with pop-up thunderstorms. So for today, expect foggy conditions this morning. Will remain hazy and in the mid-70s. I will talk more about this air quality and the wildfire smoke coming up, Gary.
Hannah, thanks. We are certainly not the only ones feeling the effects of the wildfire smoke. More than 120 million people across the country are breathing in the bad air. Reporter Emily Schmidt has a look at the view across the country and the impact as well.
Wow, this is pretty insane, guys.
Christy Litster narrating her view in Ontario.
This is not fog. This is smoke.
Speaks for what millions are sensing when they step outside.
And you can smell it too. Like it smells like smoke.
She said the fires aren't even close to her, but the 230 plus fires Canadian officials say are burning out of control, part of the worst wildfire season on record there, with the highest wildfire emissions recorded. The resulting smoke is seen in shades of gray, clouding Iowa cityscapes, hovering over Wisconsin fields, and an Illinois farmer worries, delaying her tomato crop a bit.
If you're out in this, please stay safe. Not good for our lungs.
The Minnesota Pollution Control Agency says it's had 10 air quality alert events this year over a period of 26 days. Robbie Goodman says about once a week he's sent his lawn maintenance company workers home to stay safe.
All of my guys are retired guys, and they show up to work, but I want to take care of them and make sure they're healthy too.
The smoke's path looks like a winding summer road trip. Michigan, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, next New York, which just a few weeks ago watched a skyline turn orange in a matter of hours. Now there's an air quality health advisory for the entire state. Officials fear it could get worse. I'm Emily Schmidt reporting.
We are getting our first look at the shattered piece.
Welcome back. The National Weather Service has an air quality alert issued for all of central New York. This lasts until midnight tonight because we are seeing poor air quality due to wildfire smoke coming in from Canada once again. It's pretty heavy at this point this morning. It looks to remain between, I would say, 150 and then like 250 for the air quality index today. So not as bad as last time. If you remember last time, we were in the 400s. So it won't be as bad as that today. We will continue to see a little bit of smoke tomorrow, and it starts to clear out for the weekend. So don't be surprised if it's a little bit hazy tomorrow, but it looks to clear out for the weekend. We do see unsettled weather come back in, though. We'll be near 80 and humid with pop-up thunderstorms on both days. Gary.
Anna, thanks. A federal watchdog.
Good morning, everybody. We are tracking hazy and foggy conditions this morning. So we have issued an alert day today due to poor air quality. Let's take a look now at downtown Utica. We are seeing foggy conditions, especially in higher elevations and in the valley, so be careful of that. But we are also seeing this mixed with haze this morning due to wildfire smoke from Canada. We did issue an alert day for this. We are going to be seeing poor air quality today. It's not going to be as bad as it was a couple weeks ago, but it's unhealthy enough to definitely want to avoid physical activity outside, and then definitely keep those windows closed. If you are sensitive to poor air quality, I would stay inside for today. Our air quality at this point is just around 180, and that is in the unhealthy category for any physical activity outside. This will last for the whole day today. It starts to clear out tomorrow. It's probably still going to be a little bit hazy tomorrow, but then it should clear out for the weekend. So here's a look at our near surface smoke. We are seeing some darker blue and some green colors in our area here. If we look at Utica, it looks to last a little bit into tomorrow too. It gets a little bit better tomorrow, and then we will clear out for the weekend as the wind shifts. But if you remember before, a couple weeks ago when we saw that heavy smoke, this was actually a dark orange and like a purple color. So it's definitely not going to be like that for this time. Our Skywatchers have us just around 60 degrees here this morning, 61 degrees in Clinton and New Hartford. If we take a look to the south, we have 58 degrees in Hartwick and in Westford. We were supposed to reach the upper 70s today if it was sunny, but we're thinking now we'll reach the mid 70s today with that haze kind of cooling us down a little bit. We are dry. This is our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Once again, we should be sunny today, but it's going to look like faded sunshine as it is going to be hazy. Low humidity though, so it should feel comfortable. It gets a little bit muggy tomorrow and a little bit warmer, and this is ahead of unsettled weather and humid conditions coming in for Saturday and Sunday. We see highs near 80, higher humidity, and pop-up thunderstorms are possible for both of those days. So once the smoke clears out this weekend, unsettled weather moves back in. On our skycast today, we should be seeing some sunshine. It's showing, but it is going to look a little bit faded due to that haze. It's going to be breezy, and it's looking like we'll reach the mid-70s. As for tonight, we will drop into the upper 50s. It's probably going to still be a little bit hazy tonight. Tomorrow, a little bit hazy as well. We'll reach the mid-80s, and we do see the unsettled weather return for the weekend. So for today, foggy conditions to start. It will be hazy. We are going to be seeing faded sunshine, breezy conditions, and highs in the mid-70s, and then we'll fall into the upper 50s tonight. So we do have an alert day today due to the poor air quality. We are going to be seeing it improve a little bit tomorrow, but it should move out for the weekend. But that's when we see unsettled weather move in. Gary?
So just be careful out there today.
Yes, definitely don't do any physical activity outside.
Strenuous.
Yes.
Hannah, thanks. Be sure to like us on Facebook. Joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Libertor.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Hannah Evans.
And that picture from the Oneonta cam said it all, didn't it?
Yes, a mix of fog and haze this morning. It will be hazy today due to that wildfire smoke.
So a little worse today than yesterday?
Yes, and then it should start to get a little bit better for the weekend.
That's good.
Yes, so let's take a look now at our alert day. We did issue one today due to the poor air quality caused by Canadian wildfire smoke. I would avoid physical activity outside today and keep the windows closed. If you are sensitive to this, maybe stay inside for today. We are just at around 185 for the air quality index. This does fall in the unhealthy category, but it's not going to be as bad as last time. Last time we were very unhealthy. We were in the 400s for the air quality index. It shouldn't get that bad. It's just going to remain in the unhealthy category today, so keep that in mind when going outside. Our temperatures at this point are just around 60 degrees. We have 58 degrees in Richfield Springs and 62 degrees in Little Falls. We'll reach the mid-70s today, but it's going to be hazy as we see some faded sunshine. The wildfire smoke should start to move out tomorrow. It's probably still going to be a little bit hazy tomorrow, and the weekend it should get better, but we do see some pop-up thunderstorms come back in for the weekend. So for today, expect hazy conditions, mid-70s, a little bit breezy. I will talk more about the air quality index coming up, Gary.
Hannah, thanks, and don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast, never more than 10 minutes away. This week, President Biden
The Cooperstown Camp is brought to you by Utica National Insurance Group.
Welcome back. We are waking up to 62 degrees being measured at the Griffith Park Airport in Rome. It is foggy and hazy outside this morning, so when heading out the door, be careful driving through areas of fog, but it is going to remain hazy for today as we do see some wildfire smoke come back in from Canada. So the wind shifted last night. We are going to be seeing smoky and hazy conditions today. It's not going to be as bad as last week, though. Our air quality index at this point is just around 190. If you remember, a couple weeks ago, if you remember, it was in the 300s and the 400s at that time. So hazy and smoky for today. Air quality alerts continue. Starts to move out tomorrow, probably still going to be a little bit hazy, but it will move out to the weekend, but we do see unsettled weather come back in. Gary.
Hannah, thanks. In Rome's mayoral primary on Tuesday, retired Rome police detective and
Good morning, everybody. We are seeing a mix of foggy conditions and hazy conditions this morning, and the hazy skies are coming from wildfire smoke up in Canada. Let's take a look now at downtown Utica. It looks cloudy outside because it's foggy and hazy. The fog will lift, but the haze is around to stay today. So we did issue an alert day today due to the poor air quality caused by the Canadian wildfire smoke. I would definitely avoid any physical activity outside and keep those windows closed. If you are sensitive to this, be very careful today and maybe even remain indoors. Our air quality index at this point is just around 190. This does fall into the unhealthy category. It's not going to be like last time, though, where it was in the 300s and 400s. That was very, very unhealthy to be outside. It should stay between 150 and 250 for today, so still poor air quality, and it looks to kind of linger around into tomorrow a little bit as well. So here's our near surface smoke. As we can see, darker blue, greenish, yellow colors in our area for both today, and then starting to get a little bit better tomorrow. But if you remember last time, it was that dark orange and that purple color, really heavy smoke near the surface. It's not looking to be like that at this point. It may still be a little bit hazy tomorrow, but then we do clear out for the weekend. Our sky watchers this morning have us just around 60 degrees. We have 59 degrees in Westdale and Old Forge, 61 degrees in New Hartford and Clinton. If we take a look to the south, we have 59 degrees in Milford, Cooperstown, and in Edmiston this morning. We'll reach the mid-70s today. That haze is going to keep us a little bit cooler. We will remain dry. This is our Yorkville battery. Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. If the haze didn't come in, it would be sunny today, but we are going to be seeing some faded sunshine, almost looking cloudy because of that haze from that wildfire smoke. So Nala and her neighbor this morning are a little bit sad because they can't see each other due to the foggy conditions and the hazy conditions. Today she's saying hi to Nacho. But for the afternoon, it's going to continue to be hazy, but that fog lifts. So maybe they'll be able to see each other a little bit at that point. The weekend is looking unsettled, so once the haze moves out, we will continue to see unsettled weather move back in. Pop-up thunderstorms are possible for both days as we get warm and humid once again. So hazy conditions continue today. It's going to be dry. It should be sunny, but it's going to look a little bit faded. We'll reach the mid-70s, and then tonight we'll fall into the upper 50s. Possibly still a little bit hazy tomorrow. We are going to reach the 80s, though, so getting a little bit warmer and a little bit muggier. And then we see unsettled weather once again return for the weekend. So today, foggy, hazy conditions to start. It remains hazy today with highs in the mid-70s, and then tonight we fall into the upper 50s. So we have our alert day today due to the poor air quality. Be careful of doing any physical activity outside. It starts to improve a little bit tomorrow and should move out for the weekend, Gary.
That's a good thing.
Yes, it's not going to linger around, and it's not going to be as heavy as it was last time.
And hopefully this is the last round we'll see.
Yes, I hope so.
Hannah, thanks. Well, NASA is pulling back the curtain.
From where the news comes first, this is News Channel 2 at 7 a.m. on CW11.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Libertor.
I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Hannah Evans.
And if you didn't get out last night and see the smoke, well, it was there, and it's going to be back today.
Yes, poor air quality today, so we did issue a Storm Tracker 2 alert day. It's not going to be as bad as last time, though.
Yeah, definitely. That was bad a few weeks ago. And
yes.
Hopefully not as bad today.
Yes, I hope not, but I don't think so. So let's take a look now at our alert day we issued today due to the poor air quality caused by the Canadian wildfire smoke moving back in. I would avoid physical activity outside and keep the windows closed. If you are sensitive to this, maybe stay inside altogether for today. At this point, our air quality index is just around 200, still in the unhealthy category for any physical activity outside. So just be careful of that. It doesn't look to get as high as the 300s and the 400s like it was last time. We are starting out just around 60 degrees this morning. We have 58 degrees in Richfield Springs, 62 degrees in Little Falls, and we are going to be dry today, but we're starting out with some fog and hazy conditions. It will remain hazy today due to that smoke. Maybe a little bit more tomorrow as well, and then it starts to move out for the weekend, but then we see unsettled weather come in for the weekend. So for today, expect hazy conditions. We'll reach the mid-70s. It'll be a little bit breezy. I will talk more about the air quality coming up, Gary.
Hannah, thanks. We are certainly not the only ones feeling the effects of the wildfire smoke. More than 120 million Americans are breathing in the bad air. Reporter Emily Schmidt has a look at the view from many parts of the country and the impact as well.
Wow, this is pretty insane, guys.
Christy Litster narrating her view in Ontario.
This is not fog. This is smoke.
Speaks for what millions are sensing when they step outside.
And you can smell it too. Like it smells like smoke.
She said the fires aren't even close to her, but the 230-plus fires Canadian officials say are burning out of control, part of the worst wildfire season on record there, with the highest wildfire emissions recorded. The resulting smoke is seen in shades of gray, clouding Iowa cityscapes, hovering over Wisconsin fields, and an Illinois farmer worries, delaying her tomato crop a bit.
If you're out in this, please stay safe. Not good for our lungs.
The Minnesota Pollution Control Agency says it's had 10 air quality alert events this year over a period of 26 days. Robbie Goodman says about once a week he's sent his lawn maintenance company workers home to stay safe.
All of my guys are retired guys, and they show up to work, but I want to take care of them and make sure they're healthy too.
The smoke's path looks like a winding summer road trip. Michigan, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Next, New York, which just a few weeks ago watched a skyline turn orange in a matter of hours. Now there's an air quality health advisory for the entire state. Officials fear it could get worse. I'm Emily Schmidt reporting.
We are getting our first look at the
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are starting out with hazy and foggy conditions this morning, and we will be seeing poor air quality today due to the Canadian wildfire smoke. Let's take a look now at downtown Utica. Hazy and foggy start. We have decided to issue a Storm Tracker 2 alert day as well due to the poor air quality caused by the wildfire smoke. I would definitely avoid any physical outdoor activity today. Keep those windows closed, and if you are sensitive to poor air quality, maybe stay inside for today, because at this point it's already just around 200 for the air quality index, which is unhealthy. So just make sure you you limit your time outside, or maybe stay indoors if you are sensitive to this today. It's not going to be as bad as last time, though. Last time we were in the 300s and 400s, and we were seeing a dark purple color coming in on our near surface smoke map. Today we are just going to be seeing a dark blue color, maybe like a little bit of green and yellow. So it shouldn't be too bad, but it's still in the unhealthy levels, and it is possible to see a little bit of haze still kind of lingering around tomorrow. Our skywatchers have us in the 50s and 60s this morning. We have 62 degrees in Mohawk, 64 degrees in Deerfield, and taking a look to the south, we have 60 degrees in Lawrence and in Morris. We'll reach the mid-70s today and will remain dry. This is our York full battery. Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It would have been sunny today, but since this haze has come in, it's going to look like faded sunshine, even just cloudy for most of the day. Once the haze clears out for this weekend, unsettled weather moves back in. It gets warm and humid, highs near 80, with pop-up thunderstorms possible for both Saturday and Sunday. So on our Skycast here today, we will be seeing faded sunshine, hazy conditions, a little bit breezy, and we'll reach the mid-70s. And the haze looks to continue a little bit tonight with the low in the upper 50s. It is possible to still see some hazy conditions tomorrow, but it should start to clear out. We'll warm up and get a little bit humid again. Highs are going to be in the mid-80s tomorrow. So for the rest of today, expect hazy conditions, breezy weather. Will be in the mid-70s, and then tonight will fall into the 50s with partly cloudy skies. As for tomorrow, it is possible to see a little bit of haze. We are going to be seeing some sunshine. We'll be in the mid-80s. The haze and the smoke looks to clear out for the weekend, but it turns unsettled again as we get warm and humid with pop-up thunderstorms, and the heat and the humidity continue next week.
Yes, I'm Katrina Smith. Gary has the afternoon off. But we are not alone here in central New York in dealing with air quality alerts and the haze. Millions of people are being affected once again today as smoke from those Canadian wildfires drifts to the south. Let's take another look at the tower cam here. Currently, we are in the purple range for air quality. That means poor and unhealthy conditions. It means some people might experience the effects of the air quality 24 hours after being exposed. Hannah will explain some more about the air quality alert to you in just a few moments as well. Sensitive people with asthma and breathing issues, you want to avoid being outside today. National Weather Service has said there appears to be no end in sight for that wildfire smoke and haze. Taking a look at Cincinnati here, the skyline of Cincinnati was shrouded with a gray haze on Wednesday. Smoke from those Canadian wildfires is thick in that region as well. Officials are urging people to limit their exposure to the thick fog-like haze blanketing much of the tri-state. Reports indicate it could take months for the dust to settle for good. Crews started battling rampant wildfires across Canada in early May, an early start to that typical wildfire season. Let's head over to the Weather Center with meteorologist Hannah Evans now.
We did issue a Storm Tracker 2 alert day today due to the haze from the Canadian wildfire smoke. So poor air quality today. Our air quality index at this point is at 186. I would definitely avoid physical activity outside for everyone. If you are sensitive to poor air quality, I would stay indoors today and then keep those windows closed to kind of keep the poor air out. Once again, we are in the unhealthy range with an air quality index at this point at 186. The haze continues today. It may still be a little bit hazy tomorrow, but it starts to clear clear out tomorrow, and then it will clear out for the weekend. But when it does clear out, unsettled weather comes back in. We are tracking pop-up thunderstorms for the weekend. So for the rest of today, expect hazy conditions. We'll reach the mid-70s and be breezy. I will talk a little bit more about the air quality coming up, Katrina.
Thank you so much, Hannah. Breaking news.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are still tracking hazy skies this afternoon due to wildfire smoke because of that poor air quality. So we did issue an alert day for that. So let's take a look now at downtown Utica. It may look cloudy at this point, but really if the wildfire smoke wasn't here, we would be seeing sunshine. We are just seeing hazy skies because of that smoke coming in today. So we have our alert day in effect due to the poor air quality caused by this Canadian wildfire smoke. I would avoid any physical activity outside. Keep those windows closed, and if you are sensitive to this, maybe stay inside for today. We are in an unhealthy category. At this point, the air quality index is at 185. Definitely not as bad as it was a couple weeks ago, but it's still enough to cause some effects in some people for today. So our near surface smoke is that darker blue, a little bit of that green color, kind of remains the same for the rest of the day and into tomorrow. Tomorrow still may be seeing a little bit of haze outside, but should be a little bit less than today. And then we will start to see that clear out tomorrow night as we can see the blue turning a little bit lighter. Now, if we think about this map from a couple weeks ago, this was actually a dark orange and a purple color in our region. So it's definitely not as bad as a couple weeks ago. But because of this, National Weather Service does have an air quality alert in effect for all of central New York. This is for today. Just due to those effects, definitely limit any physical activity outside, and then be careful if you are sensitive to air quality. Our sky watchers have us mostly in the 60s this point, but we do have 72 degrees in Mohawk, and then we have 69 degrees in Cassville. Highs today will reach the mid-70s. That haze is going to keep us cooler a little bit, and then we will remain dry. This is our York Full Battery, Storm Tracker 2, Doppler radar. As we can see on our radar and satellite, little cloud cover in our area. So at this point, we would be sunny if we didn't have this haze coming in from the wildfire smoke. So Nala and her neighbor this afternoon are upset about the smoke, making it look cloudy outside. Today she's saying hi to Nacho. They'll stay inside today, and we'll keep those windows closed so we won't be seeing any smoke coming into our house or anything like that. But they'll say hi to each other through the window once again for today. They'll stay inside. And once this smoke does clear out for the weekend, we will see unsettled weather come in. Pop-up thunderstorms are possible for both Saturday and Sunday as we get hot and humid once again. So for the rest of today, we will remain dry and reach the mid-70s. We'll also be a little bit breezy, and then tonight we'll fall into the upper 50s. Heading into tomorrow, a little bit of haze is still possible. We will be a little bit warmer tomorrow as we start to get humid again as well, and we'll reach the mid-80s for the high temperature tomorrow. So for the rest of today, we will reach the mid-70s. It will remain hazy with a few peaks of sunshine trying to peek out. Kind of looks like faded sunshine at this point. It will be breezy and then still hazy tonight with a low in the 50s. Tomorrow, it may still be a little bit hazy as well, but better air quality than today. We will start to see the smoke move out for the weekend, but it will remain unsettled. Katrina.
Thank you so much, Hannah. When it comes to welcome back, and thank you for joining us for another half hour of News Channel 2 at noon. I'm Katrina Smith. Gary has the afternoon off. You'll notice the haze if you head outside. Some folks are saying they feel a little lightheaded. Let's take a look at the tower cam. The Cavity Tower Cam showing that haze, not as bad as the last time around, really. The National Weather Service has said there appears to be no end in sight for the wildfire smoke that has been enveloping swaths of the United States. Governor Hochul saying today, just about an hour ago, that while this is not as bad as it was the last time around, it is still dangerous for some. She also says air quality alerts are something we should get used to paying attention to. Take a listen.
It should be part of our normal existence now. We're so used to checking the weather in the wintertime. What's the air temperature? What's the wind chill? Do I need to wear a hat, a coat? We're also going to have to condition New Yorkers into understanding that being outdoors, when the air quality is compromised and at dangerous levels, it will have an effect on your health.
And let's get a first look at your forecast in this half hour. Once again, meteorologist Hannah Evans has more on an alert day.
We did issue a storm tracker 2 alert day today due to the poor air quality from the wildfire smoke. So hazy conditions outside today. This is caused by the Canadian wildfire smoke blowing back in. I would avoid physical activity outside. Keep those windows closed. And if you are sensitive to this, maybe remain inside today. The air quality index at this point is at an unhealthy level. Not as bad as last time. We're at 185 for the air quality index right now. So that's still unhealthy to be outside for longer periods or doing any physical activity. So today we are dry. It would be sunny, but we are actually seeing hazy conditions. Probably going to be seeing a little bit of haze tomorrow as well. It looks to start to move out for the weekend, but when it moves out, unsettled weather comes back in with pop-up thunderstorms. So for the rest of today, expect hazy conditions. We'll reach the mid-70s and be breezy. I will talk a little bit more about the air quality today. Coming up, Katrina.
Thank you so much, Hannah.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are tracking hazy conditions and poor air quality this afternoon due to the wildfire smoke. Let's look now at downtown Utica. It looks cloudy at this point, but we actually should be seeing sunshine. We are just seeing hazy conditions from that wildfire smoke up in Canada. We did issue an alert day today due to the poor air quality caused by this smoke. I would avoid any physical activity outside, keep those windows closed, and if you are sensitive to poor air quality, I would stay inside today. At this point, the air quality index is at 185, just around. That is in the unhealthy category, but it's definitely not as bad as it was a couple weeks ago. We were in the 400s, very unhealthy. So 185 today. It's probably going to linger around a little bit more tomorrow, and then it will clear out. So here's a look at that, our near surface smoke. We are in the dark blue, almost like a greenish color for today. It looks to linger around even into tomorrow. It gets a little bit better tomorrow. It's not going to be worse. Probably going to be seeing some haze once again tomorrow. And then as we can see, Saturday morning, really early, it starts to look to clear out. So it looks to clear out for the weekend, but we're still under air quality alert from the National Weather Service. This is due to that smoke coming in, and this is in effect for all of central New York, so take precaution for both today and tomorrow. Our sky watchers this afternoon mostly have us in the 60s, but we do have 72 degrees in Mohawk. Then we have 67 degrees in Clinton. Our highs today look to stay in the mid-70s, so a little bit cooler than what it would have been if it was mostly sunny outside. So here's our Yorkville battery, Storm Tracker 2, Doppler radar. Dry conditions. We will be seeing very little cloud cover, but it looks cloudy because of that wildfire haze and smoke. So today, dry conditions today. Wildfire haze coming in. It looks to clear out for the weekend, but unsettled weather comes in. So pop-up showers and thunderstorms possible for both Saturday and Sunday. It gets warm and humid again with highs near 80. So for the rest of today, expect dry conditions. We'll reach the mid-70s and it will remain smoky. Even into tonight, looks to remain a little bit hazy as well with a low in the 50s. The haze sticks around for tomorrow. We'll get a little bit warmer though. We'll be seeing temperatures in the 80s, and then we do see some cloud cover come in ahead of the weekend. So for the rest of today, expect hazy conditions. It's also a little bit breezy. We are going to reach the mid-70s, and then tonight we'll drop into the 50s, remaining hazy. So we do have that alert day today due to this poor air quality in effect. It's going to be a little bit hazy once again for tomorrow. We'll get warmer, we'll be in the 80s. Then unsettled weather returns for the weekend with pop-up thunderstorms. Katrina.
Thank you so much, Hannah. We're just
Kristen Copeland. Due to the continuation of the most recent air quality advisory, it is a Storm Tracker 2 alert day.
And to get an idea of what's come tonight and into tomorrow, we bring in Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
And we're going to see a continuation of the poor air quality. We're not going to see too much of a change tonight and tomorrow. The winds are going to be generally light. Again, this is all caused by Canadian wildfire smoke. Sensitive groups are going to want to avoid being outdoors. If you are outdoors and the smoke isn't bothering you, it's just best to avoid anything strenuous. You don't want to go out and try and run a personal best today if you're trying to train for the Boilermaker. But it is okay to be outside for smaller periods of time. Friday's air quality unhealthy again. By the way, from comparison, the June 7th air quality was at the bottom of this list. It actually was. We're seeing almost twice as much pollution as we saw today. The air quality alert continues across central New York, and it's dry, We'll see hazy sunshine throughout the course of this evening. Current temperature is 74 degrees. The winds are finally going to change direction here heading into the weekend. I'll let you know when the air quality improves and how the forecast is trending as we head into the 4th of July, and that's coming up. Back over to you.
Bill, thank you. Staying on the story.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
We are tracking air quality, poor air quality across our area this evening. This is a live look in Oneonta. You can see it in the sky today. You can probably smell the smoke. It's not quite as thick as it was on June 7th, but still, it is impacting our area today, and it will also tonight and tomorrow. Levels have become unhealthy. In other words, being outdoors for long periods of time or doing any really strenuous activity, you might notice this and it may have a negative effect on you. But if you're just outside running errands and you're outside for relatively small periods of time, it's really not too bad. Compare that to what we saw earlier this month. We are in the bottom category. We're going to see the air quality stay on the poor side tonight and tomorrow. While the wind direction turns into the south, it's just not going to be enough to dislodge this smoke throughout the day tomorrow. And it will take some time even on Saturday before the air quality starts to improve. But over the course of time, it will. As we lose that north wind, we get away from the source of that smoke. And also, just over the course of time, smoke will naturally disperse. It will spread out in the atmosphere, and it will become less. And again, we will see improving conditions heading into the weekend. And with a south wind, we're going to stay away from smoke in the future. And out with the smoke, in with the humidity. We're going to be looking at high levels of humidity heading into the weekend, as well as early next week. Norway checking in with 72 degrees, Old Forge 70. West Leyden 70 degrees, across Southern Valleys, Cassville 74, Paynes Hollow 79 degrees, and Edmonston checking in with 73. We've got a push of warmer air as winds turn into the south as high pressure moves in. Again, that's going to gradually clear out the smoke over the next couple of days, but again, we'll be dealing with this again tomorrow. Tonight, looking at some patchy fog, overnight lows drop down into the upper 50s. Hazy skies again tomorrow, faded sunshine. Will warm up, temperatures climb into the low 80s, and we're looking at an increase in the clouds heading into tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. A small chance for a pop-up shower or thunderstorm heading into tomorrow night as a warm front moves in. And then on Saturday, the stage is set for scattered showers and thunderstorms as the humidity starts to ramp up, especially later in the afternoon. Hazy tonight down to 58, continuing to deal with air quality issues tomorrow. Faded sunshine, temperatures in the low 80s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Showers, thunderstorms expected over the weekend. The air quality is expected to improve. I think we'll notice a difference here Saturday and Sunday. And heading into the 4th of July, it looks like we're going to be dealing with more showers and thunderstorms. A very summer-like pattern. Midsummer-like pattern with temperatures pushing the upper 80s by next week.
Bill, thank you.
Thanks, Bill. Still to come on News Channel 2 at 6. History was made last night. Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. We may sound like a broken record, but it's true. We continue to follow the air quality issues from the wildfire smoke. Back again for around, I'd say 2, but it's really
I know, we've been dealing
30.
with this a lot this month.
I mean, yeah.
The issue tomorrow is that we just don't have enough winds to clear out this smoke. Even though the wind direction is going to shut off from the north, we're still going to be seeing this linger around. I think it's going to be similar to what we saw yesterday, or I should say today, in terms of the levels. So it's going to be a little tricky if you're trying to get out and do a lot of exercise outdoors. We're advising folks against that. But it is okay to be outside. The pollution is not as high as it was earlier in the month. It's actually about half as much as it was on June 7th. Not that it makes things better. It's more like June 7th was really bad. Live look at the Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things look quiet across the area. We're going to be tracking some fog, well, in this case, smog rolling in tonight, combination of smoke and fog. Temperatures are going to slowly cool off. We're 64 degrees right now, but tonight we'll drop down into the upper 50s. We're looking at pretty quiet conditions overnight. The smoke will start to clear out as we head into the weekend. We'll track when things improve, and taking a look at that forecast heading into the 4th of July. That's coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. New tonight, the Clinton Chamber of Commerce.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Continuing to track wildfire smoke in our area, things are looking pretty quiet across the region tonight. We're looking at dry conditions. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. And again, you can see that fog, that haze is kind of lingering around. And this is a live look in Oneonta. The air quality tomorrow looks similar to what we saw today. The winds just don't change all that much during the day, so I think the smoke's just going to kind of linger in our area. It's unhealthy to be outdoors for long periods of time or do any strenuous activity outdoors, so you want to limit that. But being outdoors in general, not too bad as long as you're not spending the entire day outdoors. The air quality not quite as bad as that event that we had earlier in the month. The surface smoke will stick around. Again, the winds turn into the south, but you can see the smoke's just going to linger in our area throughout the day tomorrow. Over the course of time, even if the winds stay light, which they will, the smoke will start to disperse. In other words, it'll become thinner with time. And so heading into the weekend, things will slowly get better. And while the smoke moves out, the humidity moves in. We're looking at a south wind that's going to bring a higher humidity to our area beginning really between Friday and Saturday. That's when you'll notice the biggest change. Radar and satellite image, high pressure and control of our weather for now. A warm front will be arriving on Friday during the late evening and into the early overnight, and that will create a few showers and thunderstorms. It's also going to set the stage for a much more unsettled weather pattern heading into the weekend. Tonight, haze, overnight lows drop down into the upper 50s. Faded sunshine tomorrow. It's dry during the day. We could see a shower late Friday, again, as that push of warm and more humid air arrives. Much warmer Friday night. Overnight lows drop down into the mid-60s. And then Saturday, we are looking at some showers, especially in the afternoon and evening. Maybe a few thunderstorms, too, with high temperatures in the upper 70s. Hazy tonight, low of 58. Tomorrow, faded sunshine. Again, air quality looks poor. High temperatures in the low 80s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Scattered showers and thunderstorms will arrive as we head into the weekend, and they stick around for most of next week. Not any particular day looks to be a washout. A lot of this happens in the afternoon, and it's scattered storms that includes the 4th of July.
Sorry, scoot over. I know, 4th of July. So basically, you're saying it's summer.
Yes, we're going to be
this is
very
what
much
happens.
summertime. Yes.
All right, that's what we like. Thanks, Bill. Coming up next, find out if you have what alongside Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. We sound kind of like a broken record, but it's true. We're still dealing with the air quality issues from those wildfires in Canada. What can we expect for tomorrow?
I think the levels of pollution will stay about the same as what we saw today. It's not going to get any worse, maybe slightly better, but if you've been experiencing issues, I know this is more of a sensitive group that have been experiencing issues this time around. You're going to want to take precautions again tomorrow. I think the levels will start to come down as we head into the weekend, but it's going to be a tough time to clear the air out this time around because the winds are just not strong enough and the smoke is a lot more widespread. So live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things are looking quiet out there. A little bit of haze, some fog will be settling in tonight. Temperature-wise, we're 61 degrees, so it will continue to cool off tonight. And while we're recommending folks keep their windows closed, air conditioners should be okay to use overnight. The levels of pollution, not quite as bad as what we experienced on June 7th. Tonight, overnight lows drop down to the upper 50s. We are tracking a slow improvement in the air quality as we head into the weekend. A look at that forecast is coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. New tonight, the Clinton Chamber of Commerce.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Continuing to track smoke and poor air quality across central New York through tomorrow. This was the sunset from earlier this evening. This was our CAV Tower Cam capturing the faded sunshine, the colorful sky. That, of course, is caused by all of the haze from wildfire smoke. And we're looking at dry conditions across the area tonight on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. The haze is still in the sky. This is a live look in Oneonta. We'll see this haze in the air tomorrow. The winds don't change direction very much, and the smoke is just going to kind of sit and linger in our area. So the air quality remains unhealthy. You really want to limit any strenuous activity outdoors tomorrow. You don't want to run really hard if you're training for the Boilermaker. But if you are outside, really it's not quite as bad as what we were dealing with on June 7th. June 7th, we were down in the bottom category here. The air quality index was twice what it was today. So that was a much more serious situation. But again, it is still impacting certain groups of people that are really sensitive to this, and that's going to be the case tomorrow as winds become generally light. The smoke's going to try to push out of our area as we head into Saturday. Over the course of time, even if the winds stay light, which they will, the smoke is going to disperse or it's going to thin out just naturally over the course of time. So things are going to get better as we head into the weekend. As that south wind kicks in, the smoke moves out, but the humidity moves in. And that's what we're going to be dealing with as we head into early next week. A warm front moves in tomorrow, and that could spark a shower or late day storm. We'll stay dry overnight. Some patchy fog, or in this case smog, combining with smoke, will be around tomorrow morning. Temperatures start out in the mid-60s. We'll see faded sunshine throughout the day. Small chance for a passing shower late in the day with temperatures in the low 80s. Tomorrow night, weather looks pretty quiet. Saturday, scattered showers and thunderstorms are expected with a south wind. Temperatures look to climb into the upper 70s to low 80s. Hazy tonight, low of 58. Tomorrow, still dealing with poor air quality, hazy conditions, faded sunshine, a high of 82. The humidity ramps up this weekend as the smoke gradually thins out. Temperatures will be near 80 degrees both Saturday and Sunday. The chance of a pop-up shower or thunderstorm both days, and that's the weather pattern that sets up next week. Looking at temperatures in the low to mid 80s Monday and Tuesday, mid to upper 80s heading into the end of the week. Hot.
Approaching 90.
Yeah, we're getting
We
there.
don't want to say that quickly, but
It's going to feel like it probably.
awesome. All right,
Yeah.
thanks, Bill. Coming up next.